Hey guys, what's up? It's CS back here with another installment, and here are my picks for UFC 159, Jones versus Sonnen. Okay guys, on paper it's an easy card to call. I have to go with most of the favorites, but if you guys want the rest of my picks besides the main card ones, of course, I'll leave them in the description below, so go check those out. But let's start off at the main event. It's between Chael Sonnen and Jon Jones for Jones's light heavyweight title. Alright guys, now of course this fight's not even close, but if Chael Sonnen were to win, how does he do it? In my opinion, he's going to have to set the precedent in round one, get a takedown as soon as possible against Jon Jones. He's going to try to bully Jon Jones up against the cage if he's able to get within the reach. And then, try to drop down for a double. Jon Jones is going to try to spread his legs for a wide base, try to defend and maybe throw some elbows at the same time. But if Chael Sonnen's able to get that takedown, of course, he has some problems there too because Jon Jones, he has pretty aggressive guards as far as sweeping and trying to get back up. He has a nice butterfly guard, and it wouldn't be a surprise for me to see Jon Jones wind up on top of Chael Sonnen if Chael Sonnen were to initially take him down. I think Jon Jones is that dangerous, and I think that is most likely going to happen if Chael Sonnen does so happen to take down Jon Jones. I think Jon Jones is that good, guys. I don't think this is even a competition. Chael Sonnen, for me, is outmatched everywhere. I think Jon Jones, with his length and with his numerous ways of taking people down, might be a better MMA wrestler than Chael Sonnen. I know he has a double leg, but I know he has, hell of a Greco-Roman game, so I think he can take down Chael Sonnen from even the clinch. You know what? But I think it's most likely going to be a stand-up match from Jon Jones. I think he's going to be able to throw that 84.5-inch reach onto Chael Sonnen's face, hit him with a heck of a whole lot of jabs, and then kick his knees in, kick his shins in with those crazy long-ass side kicks. I think Jon Jones is going to look like Dhalsim from Street Fighter here. And yeah, I think Chael Sonnen's going to be in a world of hurt when he does eventually go into Jon Jones as far as trying to get within his reach. I think Jon Jones is going to out-clinch him there and take him down and then finish him with vicious ground pound elbows. And I think that's going to happen in the second round. So that is my pick, second round TKO from Jon Jones. Alrighty, folks. Now let's move on to that middleweight bout between Michael Bisping and Alan Belcher in the co-main event. Easy fight to call. What does Alan Belcher bring to the table? First off, though, he is a pretty solid kickboxer. He likes to stay within the pocket, rip combinations, body shots, to the head as well. Pretty good high kicks, pretty good low kicks. He can mix it up as far as just striking. However, he does have a deficient wrestling ability. I think that's where Michael Bisping is going to expose him. I think come the first round, they're going to look relatively cold going at it. I think Alan Belcher is going to try to mix it up as far as his strikes. Again, punch combinations and some kicks. But I think Michael Bisping is going to do a decent enough job of striking and biking. And I think he's going to mix up some takedowns in there within come the later part of that round. I think that's going to keep Belcher guessing throughout the fight. I think Bisping's pace is going to quicken throughout the fight as well. He is a slow starter, and Belcher, I think, is just going to fall into the pace of Michael Bisping. I think Bisping is going to be able to rip his volume punching as far as his jabs and as far as moving in and out of the pocket really well. I don't think he's going to get knocked out like he did against Vitor Belfort. I think Alan Belcher is going to be a lot more wary of what Bisping can do elsewhere. Again, with the takedowns, maybe some clinch attempts. I think Belcher is just not going to look as comfortable as he normally is against a not as dynamic opponent. So that's why I'm going to go with Michael Bisping here. Again, takedowns, maybe clinch attempts, and some striking bike for a unanimous decision, at least 29-28. Alright folks, now let's move on to that heavyweight match between Cheick Kongo and Roy Nelson. I don't think this fight's even close. Cheick Kongo might be able to steal a round or two here and there with, some cage and clinch advantages against Roy Nelson. Maybe he's able to pin Roy Nelson up against the cage, land some dirty boxing, maybe some dirty shots, if you know what I'm saying. I don't know, but I think it is unlikely. I think Roy Nelson, if he's found in that position against Cheick Kongo, the cage and clinch, I think we'll find a way to maybe get Cheick Kongo to the ground, probably put him in a crucifix, and then land strikes or elbows or some punches up until Cheick Kongo, gets TKO'd. I think that's maybe a possibility. However, I think that Roy Nelson's most likely going to chase around Cheick Kongo within the first 5 minutes of the fight and look to land that haymaker, and eventually does. So that's my pick, Roy Nelson via first round KO or TKO due to punches. Alrighty folks, now let's move on to that light heavyweight match between Phil Davis and Vinny Magalhaes. I don't think this is a tough fight to call. I'm going to go with Phil Davis here. I think that his explosiveness, his strength, is going to win him the fight in the end. I think he's going to be able to keep things on feet against Vinny Magalhaes and use really ugly striking to win out a unanimous decision. I really don't want to see that happen, but I think it's most likely going to happen. Maybe he's going to out-clinch Vinny. Maybe he takes Vinny down and risks his well-being on the mat because Vinny is one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners out there. You know, Phil Davis was able to sit in Nogueira's guard for X amount of minutes in that fight. Of course, he won via unanimous decision there. Is he going to be able to do the same against Vinny? I think he will be. It's just I think he wants to fight safer because Vinny Magalhaes could really, you know, work different guards against Phil Davis and maybe get a submission off himself, maybe sweep Phil. Who knows? Phil, however, is a very good submission grappler training out of Team Lloyd Irvin. I think that he's not going to be that much threatened on the ground as long as he is on top. He just does not want to be on the bottom at all costs. I think that his best way of avoiding that is outstriking Vinny on the feet. And yeah, I think it's going to be ugly, but it's going to be a 29-28 unanimous decision. I really don't give Vinny much of a chance on the feet. Okay, folks, now let's move on to that Jim Miller-Pat Healy lightweight match, kicking us off on the main card. So this is going to be the last fight I'll be talking about. What does Jim Miller have to do in order to win this fight? He just has to do Jim Miller, you know what I'm saying, as far as going out there, fighting a high pace, and just beating his opponent where he can. And in this case, I think it's everywhere. I think Pat Healy, you know, he is a good wrestler himself, but I think his wrestling is going to look deficient against Jim Miller. Jim Miller decides to go after those takedowns. I think that Jim Miller's takedown ability is above average. It is pretty good. And of course, with his top control game and his submission ability, you know, he's probably going to be able to get Pat Healy's back, if you ask me. And that's a tough task because Pat Healy's looked pretty sharp on the ground as of late. But I think that Jim Miller's more so leaning towards just knocking Pat Healy out. While they're on the feet, Jim Miller's going to be the one throwing more combinations, more aggressively. I think he hits harder than Pat Healy, and I don't think Pat Healy is going to be able to exert his game plan whatsoever. Of course, what Pat Healy likes to do, try to slow down the pace of the fight, get within the person's striking ability, clinch up with them, get a takedown, and just ride them out for a unanimous decision. If not, get their back for a rear naked choke. I don't think Jim Miller's going to give him any breathing room in order for Pat Healy to do any of that shit. So I'm going to have Jim Miller eventually finishing Pat Healy sometime in the late first round. I think it happens via TKO, so that's my pick, Jim Miller, due to strikes. And there it is, guys. That about does it for my picks for UFC 159, Jones versus Sonnen. Hopefully I'm not that tired tomorrow and I can pump out a review for you guys. But yeah, I think that about does it for me. Thank you for all the support. Once again, if you guys aren't subscribed yet, please do so. Thanks for watching. Deuces for all my supporters, roosters for all my haters, and take care.